Hello and welcome to today's vlog. I'm really tired. So today I actually had a completely different plan for what I was gonna vlog, but my schedule ended up changing a little bit, so I thought I would go ahead and answer some of your questions. Now first, before we jump into the questions, just to fill you on how I've been feeling with my CFS. I've had a really hard couple of days physically. It's been one of my worst flares I've had in a while. I am still feeling pretty bad today. I'm just very, very tired, but I'm a little bit better though. So I really enjoy filming for you all, but it's really hard to film on my bad days. I'm still really learning how to pace myself, how to set boundaries for myself so I don't overdo it. People ask just about every day how I'm feeling, so as of today, there's your update. Also, I got a lot of different questions, so I'm gonna say this is part 1. I'll answer as many as I can, and then I'll do another video shortly. So Summer said, I would like to hear some examples of what it looks like to embrace rather endure this or any trial. I love that question. You may or may not have heard me talk about the concept of embracing versus enduring, and that's been a huge theme for me as I've dealt with this serious health chronic illness trial. So for me in my situation, I recognized that there was a season for a while where I was really just enduring the hard times and I wasn't embracing the season that God had me in. When I was enduring, I was just passively kind of waiting for the season to end, waiting for healing. I was very, very frustrated, just struggled emotionally, and I felt like I didn't have purpose. But whenever I chose to embrace, that's when I recognized that there is a purpose in my pain. You know, a lot of it's my mindset. It's how I talk to myself. It's how I live and spend my day. But choosing to share my story and to be transparent about what's going on, starting YouTube, a lot of those things kind of happen when my mentality shifted to embracing. So for you, you can take embracing versus enduring. You can live that out in any area of your life. Maybe you're going to school, and instead of just going through the motions of like going to school and doing your work, you are going to embrace the season of you being in school. You're gonna work hard, you're gonna be an example, you're gonna be loving people like Jesus, you're gonna be embracing that season rather than just enduring. You can really choose to live that out in any situation, whether it's a trial or it's not. Now, endurance is important, of course. Like, we want to be resilient, but it's amazing what God does when you take a step further and choose to embrace. Great question. Michelle asked, what do I eat when I go out on dates or with friends and family? Are there any specific places I love or any tips that I have? She said that she finds it difficult to stick to healthy eating when going out. That is a great question. I remember when I first tried to eat healthy, I would just look up all the calories in advance, and now I know it's really so much more than just how many calories are in a dish. My focus should be on the quality of food and not the amount of calories. So places my family loves to go to eat, usually me and James, we love Thai food, we love Indian food, we love Mediterranean food. We kind of like the, I don't know, more unique, not like traditional American places. When I go out with my family, we also do a lot of Asian inspired places or places like Qdoba or Chipotle. And what I love about those kinds of restaurants is that I can always do protein with veggies. Sometimes I do something different, but most of the time for me, I want to get lots of vegetables. I'll get a good lean protein source, and sometimes I'll get, you know, rice or fruit or something else like that. So at any Asian kind of place, I make sure it's gluten-free. I get a base of a ton of veggies and then like chicken or something because I like chicken. Same thing if I go to a place like Chipotle or Qdoba, I can get as many veggies as they'll give me, some protein, some rice if I want it. Normally I would add guac because healthy fats, but most of you know right now I'm not able to do that. Really what I have learned to do is to plan in advance. I always like to figure out where we're going and then look at the menu in advance so that I know I have a plan when I get there. I've got some good options. And if there's not any good options, I'd be better off either eating something before. I've actually brought food with me to restaurants before, especially whenever I was working. It can feel a little bit weird, but for me, a lot of times I would rather fast and skip that meal and eat later than eat food that's gonna damage my body. Something that Betsy asked me, she asked if they tested me for tick-borne illnesses at the Mayo Clinic. And I actually get the question about if I've been tested for Lyme disease quite a bit. And I recognize that CFS and fibromyalgia is often misdiagnosed when it's really Lyme. So I actually don't know if Mayo tested for that, but I have done other testing for Lyme disease, and everything I've done so far has come out negative. I know that it's easy to get false negatives. If I need to do more testing, I will, but at this point, I really don't think that I have Lyme disease. And we have a lot of evidence to why I ended up dealing with CFS. So Marcella asked, how was it for you to be homeschooled? Did you love it, or do you wish you were public schooled? And then someone else also said that they'd like to hear about my homeschool experience. So if you didn't know, I was homeschooled from the beginning to the end. I never went to a public school, and I did love it. I'm so thankful that my mom and really both of my parents made that decision for our family. I really think there were so many great benefits of it. I know homeschooling's not for everyone, but for our family, it was definitely the right decision. I liked how it was personalized to me, that obviously there's a lot of requirements that you have to get done, but beyond the requirements, I was able to focus on the things that I really love, and I learned them in the way that I learned best. So really, there's just so much freedom whenever you're homeschooled. For example, like, you've got freedom to wear pajamas during school. I didn't always do that growing up until in high school. I definitely did do that. You've got freedom sometimes to double up on school one day, so the next day you can go and do something else. We were really fortunate for my family. We had just such a great homeschool community. There were lots of homeschool families around us that I spent so much time with growing up with, and quite a few of them are still some of my very best friends. What I loved is that I wasn't always just even friends with people that were my age. Actually, I had very few friends that were like exactly my age or my grade. I was friends with people years older than me and years younger than me. That's a pretty brief answer, but yeah, I really loved being homeschooled. I definitely would not change it. James likes to make fun of me for being homeschooled sometimes, but it's okay. A lot of you ask questions about marriage, and I want to pull James in on some of these questions. Maybe I'll just ask you guys for marriage questions and I'll do it with James. I don't know, we'll see. I might just pull him in for some. But Savannah asked, what's one thing that you've learned from being married, and how do you not kiss anyone up until getting married? So James was the first person, he's the only person that I've ever kissed. We did kiss before our wedding though. He's my first and only person I've kissed, but we didn't wait until the wedding, just to clarify that. There's a lot of things that I've learned about marriage, and a lot of things I'm sure that I've yet to learn. But one thing for me, that I knew and even really began to understand, in marriage, you can't be concerned about what you're going to get from the other person, or you can't think that that person is going to complete you. But in marriage, both of you should be focused 100% on serving each other. So it's not about what you can get from that person, but it's about what you can give. You guys, James just texted me, I love you. Every single day, he sends me a text saying, I love you. It's the sweetest thing. That's another thing I've learned. Like, say I love you multiple times a day. Like, you can never say I love you too much. Yes, it's wonderful. Marriage is just so great. I am just, yes. So how did I not kiss anyone leading up to James? There's a lot I could say going into this. I really wanted person that I first kissed to be my husband. That was really my hope. I was just hoping to save that for my husband. I didn't really want to kiss anybody else because they wouldn't be my husband. I don't know. That was just kind of a hope for me, and it ended up working out. I'm not saying you have to do it that way. That's just how I decided to do it. I did not date anyone in high school, which is also something that I was just like, I don't really want to date in high school. I don't really think for me that this is worth it in this season. There's other things that I could focus on, and probably if I date someone in high school, I most likely will end up with them. Then before James, I dated one other person, and yeah, James and I have a great first kiss story. One day I'll have to tell that. Here's a fun one. Who is the better singer slash dancer, you or James? Danner, you're a mess. I am definitely the better dancer, for sure. James and I debate about who's the better singer. Neither of us are any good. So he might actually be better than me because I'm not, I can't sing. Nigel says, how many Life Church t-shirts does James have? He's wearing one in almost all of your vlogs. A lot. I probably have more, but I don't wear them nearly as much. I have a ton, but Nigel, that is a very good question, but I'm really not willing to find out the answer because that would take a lot of energy that I don't have. The last question I'm gonna answer today is from Julia, and she said, I would love to hear your tips for how to stay encouraged when battling chronic illness. That's a great question, and it's definitely something that I'm still learning to do. There are some days where I feel very joyful, very hopeful, and encouraged knowing that God's using my story to help others, and believing that I'm on the path to getting healing. For example, last night I was just really emotional. I just was sad, and so I cried. I think nights can be very, very difficult for me. I think part of why is because the reminder that it's another day still being ill. Another day's gone by, and I still feel pretty bad. So a lot of days it can be hard to stay encouraged. For me, discipline has been huge. I really think that there's freedom in discipline. Every day spending my time with Jesus is very, very important to me. God's word encourages me. It reminds me of his promises, of his faithfulness. I spend time in prayer too. Prayer is so great because it's not just asking God for what you need. Well, you're praising him for what you have, but also it's just so relational. And for some people that might sound a bit odd, you know, it really is a relationship with Jesus through conversation, through prayer. I really do feel encouraged. I've gotten a lot better at kind of affirming myself. It's still very weird to me, but every morning when I do my morning journaling, I write out some affirmations, just a couple every day, like you are loved, you have purpose, you are making a difference, you are going to be healed, that kind of thing. Time with people really helps me. There's a lot of things that help me stay encouraged. I have to recognize that it is okay to feel sad sometimes. I have to have grace for myself. I am allowed to mourn, but I can't stay there because God has so much more for me than just living in sadness. I have the ability to choose how I'm gonna respond. I don't just wanna react, I wanna respond to what's happening to my life. And when I do that, I am so much more encouraged. My camera is about to die, so I'm gonna wrap up this video now. I know there are a lot more questions, so I'll answer some more soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Bye.